University in Ohio, and present some things to you today on cricket. So I know at least two of you know cricket really well. I'm Australian, so I grew up playing the game as a youngster. And these two guys over here from England, and they did the same thing. So we've got a few folks here that have some knowledge of cricket. But what I'd like to do is just give you the basic concepts today of the game, the basic rules, how you can adapt it for kids of different ages. Some little lead-up games that you could use depending on the space requirements you have. Some of the tactical and strategies that are similar between this game and some of the fielding games, striking games that you might play as well, and some of the transfer opportunities between those different sports. So going to get you up and get you moving a little bit, and just kind of lead you into the game with some smaller games. So if I could get to start with, probably three of you up. So we don't have a lot of space here. So if we were doing this with our kids at school and such, I would have a number of these little games set up to start them out with when we were first introducing cricket. So I need someone to grab the bat there, and someone to stand behind the three poles,
Okay.
and someone to stand about right here. And the ball there. All right. So, again, I don't know if you play much or not. I'll kind of assume that you don't know a whole lot about cricket, and this would be a way of introducing it. Gradually building in some skills so that the kids understand some of the basic concepts. So, the basic premise of our little three-person game here is for our pitcher, who we call the bowler in cricket, is to try and hit the three poles that each are called a stump, that together are a wicket. Got some really crazy terminology in cricket. Some of the terms.
So each one is a stump.
Each one is a stump. Yeah. The
Right.
thing about cricket is too the thing we actually play on is called the wicket. And,
Yes.
some fun terminology for the kids to learn about as well. So the idea of what we're going to do in our little three-person game here is for our bowler to try and hit the wicket there. That's her objective.
Overhand or underhand?
We'll go on here at this point. And our batter, your objective is to not allow the ball, a little game here, hit the stumps of the wicket. And we've got this guy back here to retrieve the ball. He's the wicket keeper. And mainly to not let the ball go through the open door there.
Right.
Okay. So that's our hand right now. And so it's an underhand, a hit, retrieve when needed, and I'll also be retrieving out here. So you don't have to do anything apart from that. Good.
Excellent, excellent. Look at that skill.
Okay. Bring it.
All right. And the nice thing about cricket is that we've got a nice flat face on the bat, wider than a baseball bat. Gives the kids lots of success when playing striking games to start with. All right, let's do it again.
Look up there. Now.
Oh, she got it.
So,
Look it up.
again, the idea of our little game here is to try and hit the stumps, and she hit the stumps. So, in our game, that in a regulation cricket game, if we were playing a regulation game, that would be an out, because your objective is to protect that. Yours is to hit that and use that, so we could have another batter come in. In our little three-person game here, we would just rotate through. So, the bowler, our wicket keeper, batter will go the other way there. And so the question is, that you're going to get from the kids, because they're going to do that, right? is I hit the wicket and I hit the stumps. So what happens happens then, right? Well, that's also an out. So you're not out twice, but
I'm out.
you're out. So that would be another way to get the batter out. In our game, though, we're going to give you several opportunities to hit. You need to have a
I need to
strike.
hit it? Oh, that's going to be hard. That keeps you.
Whoa.
So you caught the ball, right? Kids are going to ask you, well, if I catch the fly ball, what happens then? Well, that's also an out. So, in essence, you've had 2 opportunities to hit and you've been out 3 times.
Now what happens if she catches it?
All right.
Because I almost did another one.
Another good learning opportunity there. So the ball came off the edge of the bat, flew into the air. If she had have caught that on the fly, that would be 4 outs and 3 tries. So in our game, cricket then, as we're sort of learning the progression here, so our wicketkeeper is always thinking about that opportunity. So back here, waiting.
Ready to go.
Yeah, so if there's a little tip there.
Hey, I'm trying really hard. I am working hard to get 4 outs.
There, you are doing a great job.
Okay, so that's a little game, you just get the kids started with and basically learning a few little concepts there. And so, as that's played, there'll be questions that would come up like you were answering there. Kids begin to understand the concept. So, what we're going to do this time, though, is we're going to move our ball back because this is actually not as close, they're too close in normal game of cricket. They're going to pitch them further back. And in our next game, we have 2 wickets. We have one at the center and one at the center. And so another rule of the game concept is that the pitcher pitches from the side of one of the wickets. So in essence,
If I hit that wicket, do I get out back?
as we develop the game a little bit further, there's going to be a batter down at this end, and if you hit the ball down to that end, hit the wicket, if they're in their safe area, no one's out. That's right? Yeah. So we'll kind of work on that a little bit further. All right, so this is our next concept. We'll also add something in here that in cricket, we don't actually underhand the ball, we overhand throw it. And again, we're going to kind of speak through the process and technique here. But, how do we teach kids in physical education, in coaching environments, how to throw? What would be a cue?
Step
Often getting that body in the T position, right? Yep. Step in opposition. And turn, rotate. What I'm going to give you as a cue for bowling in cricket is what I call the Hussein Bolt position. So the kids get the bolt position. And this is the ready position for cricket. And instead of the elbow breaking, we're going to have a windmill. The ball's going to come directly over and hit the ground this time before it gets to the batter. So in cricket, when you bowl the ball or pitch it, you're not allowed to bend your elbows. There's a difference there in terms of how the ball is pitched. Technique is different. So it's very close to a throw. The kids already have a lot of that knowledge because they're in sideways position. They're pointing usually. Usually in cricket, our arms up a little bit higher. Difference is, so the ball will bounce, and usually before it gets to the batter.
So, do I need to go straight for the wickets, or can I bounce into the wickets? Does it matter?
Yep, so you can let the ball bounce and have the batter try and hit it. You can do it without bouncing, however you'd like to. Nice.
Does his back leg step through or does it stay down on the ground?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And that actually not being out.
Usually when you're going to run anyway, so you kind of come in like this motion. He's just standing while he's bowling. But in the game of cricket, we would take a run out. And so
He's got
balls
a,
before that wicket. He can't run past that.
I see.
There's
So
a
there'll be a line that's like
international match.
He's got to run. He's got to bowl before he gets to.
I see.
Yeah,
Watching
but
that.
in your PE class, who's gonna be that ump when you have many games?
The way that I did it was that in physical education, we would teach the kids to referee and umpire games.
So there were actually two per
I would
game.
have two, I'd probably have one person. Or I could allow the kids to cooperatively referee their game. And, you know, if we work on that affective area with the kids, then over time, that I believe they become fair.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright. So, in that instance, the ball hit the wicket. It didn't bounce, but that's okay. It's allowed to do that. It's allowed to do that. Very often, though, the ball, as you're doing quite nicely, bounces sort of in this area here prior to the bat hitting.
Now, you know, how quick does the pace pick up? Is there like a 10 seconds in between, or
In terms of pitching bowling?
etiquette for the pitcher to give some time?
Yeah. So the batter will usually be the person to indicate when they're ready.
Okay.
And one way of doing that is that the batter actually doesn't hold the bat up like this. And so that's our next question. So the batter is actually going to be in the ready position with the bat down on the ground.
Oh, like
and
golf.
feet a little bit closer together.
Yeah.
About like so. It looks more like a cricket or golf position. We're going to move you in a little bit so that you're actually going to block the wicket here. Move your feet in a little bit.
I understand. This makes sense.
Yep. So when she does that, that tells you that she's ready to play.
Okay.
When her bat isn't up or she's moved away, that's usually etiquette to wait.
Okay.
Bring her.
Maybe laugh.
And that's called a full toss because it doesn't bounce.
That's fucking bouncing.
Good.
Now, in international play, plus as you get better, you do have some room that you can actually move to your boundary line,
Very
right?
good. Nice progression there. So the kids are going to ask that.
Yeah.
And so we can tell them, yeah, you don't actually have to stand there anymore. You can actually move back and take a little run in and do that or you can stand beside it. In cricket, you have different speeds of bowling, fast, medium pace, slow, spin, and so on. So move away, take a little run in.
Hey, not bad.
All right, very good. So he's been getting lots of turns, so the kids are going to say, what? When's it my turn to bowl? Right? So the next little step here is that after 6 bowls from that end, when I'm working with the kids, it might be 2 or 3, we have another person pitch from this end.
Okay.
All right? So you're going to be our pitcher. We'll trade you over this time. You're our wicketkeeper. So you're going to stay batting. Yep, stay batting. You're the bowler.
Now you're.
So you're bowling from this end now. So what's the issue?
I got somebody in the way.
No one down there, right?
Yeah. You get
So in cricket, you actually have 2 batters in the game at one time. So to add on to our game here, we need a second batter. So let's get one other person to bat down there. Can we get someone else up? All right.
Right, professionals.
A pro.
Yes, our pros get up.
Please bowl him out.
All right, we're gonna have to put one hand behind his back, make him play with one
This
hand.
is intimidating.
You may know.
Now, is there advantage of right and left bowling? Is it just the preference of
In terms of
your-
the side from where you're coming?
Yeah,
Yeah, that will be a preference from the bowler generally.
but no hard fast rule that I have to be on one side or the other.
Some bowlers will go from one side for a while, they'll go from the other side for a while. Also, if you're left or right-handed, it often determines that. Nice.
Does the batter have to, like in that case, he really didn't have to hit the ball
Uh-huh.
because he knew it veered off on the side.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make contact. I guess
Correct.
is what I'm asking.
In cricket, you don't have to, but he can stand there all day. If she's a really bad bowler and the ball's going to the side, etc. there, he wouldn't have to hit it in a regulation game. Of course, we're going to modify that for the kids. Yeah. All right, good.
So it's a defensive game.
It's a defensive and an offensive game.
Yeah, offense, not throwing.
Yep. So what would be the other offense be then?
Would be.
Now that's a hitting right now. So what would you think would be their goal?
Would be to hit.
Go ahead.
I say, because we can play in 360 degrees,
Okay.
to play it where maybe there weren't a lot of people.
All right. Nice. So we actually play cricket on usually a large oval, and we have fair area, fair space, not only forwards and to the sides of the hitters, but also behind the hitters. So that is to hit the ball that way, anywhere they want to. There's no out of bounds in cricket. Yeah. And the other question, about, well, is this just a defensive game then? The kids will ask that, right? The batter's just hitting right now. I said the objective is not to have the ball hit the stumps, the wicket. So apart from that, what are the batters going to get to do? They're actually going to get to score runs, just like baseball. So the way we score a run, and the next little piece of our game, is that once the one batter hits the ball, these two are going to decide whether or not they can switch ends and score a run. The objective is then to also, for our fielders, to get the ball back and hit the wicket before one of them gets there.
Are we on the same team?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're on the same team.
You're on the same team.
Okay, so I don't want to hit
All right,
the
so
ball. I don't want to, if he hits the ball, I don't want to hit it back and hit that
yeah,
wicket, right?
we'll just play one out here. So go ahead and bowl. All right, so take off, switch ends. Yep, so you switch ends with each other.
Hit that wicket.
You grab the ball, which is what you needed to do. So as they switch there, once they take off, they're out of their safety zone.
Okay.
And so you can take the ball and you can throw it to her, and she could grab it and hit the wicket. Or you could take the ball, toss it at that wicket, and try and hit it. Put that back down, put that back down.
You were still.
So you're running, so he would try and throw it at it and try and hit it. And if she's not back in her safe area, then she would be out. So once the ball goes out into the field, you've got to try and get the ball back to hit the wicket, either throwing it directly or throwing it to someone who can hit the wicket there.
Can his feet move once he touches the ball?
Yeah, he can grab it just like.
So he could have
He could
run,
run it
he
to
could
it.
literally run up.
Oh
and just
yeah,
tap.
you can do that too.
And my technique, I can throw regular at that
Any
point.
way you like now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So.
And so are we teammates? The
We're
pitchers?
team.
So we've got two teams then, right? We've got our batting team and we've got our fielding team. So like most striking fielding games, we have that same premise. So we've got our two teams going.
So it doesn't matter which wicket we hit with the ball.
It does not.
It
only-
stops the runners.
It does stop the runners, and if they're not in their safe zone, one of them's out. Who's out? The person who is heading towards the wicket that got hit. Let's play a few more here. Let's get one more person out here for a fielder.
I got it.
Ready?
Yeah.
She bowls. She hits it. Oh, shucks. Sorry. I'm in the wrong place. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, it was my fault. I couldn't move it.
If we were both down here, is she able to still hit that?
Say that one again.
If we were both at the wickets, is she still able to hit the wicket?
If you're running?
No, if we were already at where we were supposed to be.
No, she can't. You're safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what's the safe zone?
Yeah.
What's the safe zone? There's a line, and it's drawn in front of each wicket. And remind me again how far that is, do you know?
It's probably
About 3 feet?
3 feet.
Yeah.
Going out.
Yep.
Come back down.
Yep. So you've got about
So
3
it
feet
makes
here.
like a square.
So if we get it here, hopefully.
So if your bat is crossing, then you're in the safe
The
zone.
bat is considered part of the body, and so the next little add-in, you know, the kids are working on, so you get here, all right, how can we advantage ourselves? We can reach with our bat. So our body's here, but our bat's here, so that's a little
Do they
difference.
slide like in baseball? Can they slide like in baseball?
I suppose they could, but it's not a particular advantage in cricket. One of the reasons why that is, and if the kids ask that, then we had the ball under the chair over here, and so it was hard to get in our little game, so you all ran twice. So if you slide and you're on the ground, and you want to go again, you got to get up and run. So, and again, the bat is an extension of the body, so it's not going to be much of an advantage to slide. Alright, so that would be out in a regulation game because it was a fly ball. Another batter would come in our rotation, you know, in physical education classes, we have several little games going on. Whatever rotation we have, someone would come in to be a batter, the batter would be a fielder, etc. there, however you were running that. So let's get a new batter. You take her place over there.
Let me ask you a question
Yeah.
about the bail.
Yeah.
What does that, how does that come into play? What
Yeah. So
terms of the bail?
on top of the stumps here, you've got some little indentations.
Yeah.
And this is what they call a bail. And they sit across the top here. They will sit there. There are two of them. And so for an out to be official, the bails actually have to fall off. Yeah. So with the kids, I don't usually use them. Yeah.
That's what I figured it was.
I've used trash cans,
Big
and
time.
that's what I, you know,
And
because that's the
so
right
if you're
height.
watching a game of cricket on
I didn't
YouTube
think
or
about
something, this is a mini set of wickets, but they're about the height you've got here, and those go into the ground with the point, and they stick in the ground in the turf out on the oval. So these plastic ones are made by physical education companies that you can get hold of. If you wanted to have an easy way to set it up and play with the kids. The little set I've got here comes with the two bats, the two sets of wickets. It's got some balls and that sort of thing that comes with it. So it's fairly inexpensive.
So if I were to play cricket in England or Australia, that's what I would have in the ground with.
If you were playing a regulation match, playing by all the rules and official stuff,
That's what I would.
those would be much bigger. They'd be the
Oh,
size of the
they're
plastic
this
ones.
high.
Yeah. Yep. And again, when I do this with the kids, we have a little session on terminology and some of the international types of information. Kids found that really fascinating. But they call the international matches test matches, and they run for 5 days. And so play begins at 11 o'clock in the morning and finishes at 6 o'clock in the evening. At least it used to. I haven't watched for a while. And they would do that for 5 days with a couple of breaks in between and morning tea.
Oh, gee.
And
The game is, make sure I'm right, is everybody on the team bats, and everybody on the other team bats, and that's the game.
that is 1 innings.
1 inning?
In a regulation test match, there are 2 innings.
Okay.
And so you've got the 5 days to score as many runs as you can. And of course, with the kids in physical education, we've got 30 minutes. So we have our little games happening where we're getting people in and out of the different roles, giving them opportunities to practice the skills. Yep.
One more question. So when she hits the ball and they run 1, they run 2, we still haven't gotten the ball to the wicket yet. Maybe this guy is faster and she doesn't make it into the zone. So is each run 1,
It is.
2? Well, what if one makes it in the safety zone, but the other one doesn't?
The run counts from the batter's cross.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cross.
Yep, so sometimes what happens is actually that the two batters aren't particularly cooperative. They make poor decisions. And so one of them says, wait, the other says no, and they start running and both end up at the same end. When you have that, you've got two batters at one end, and one needs to get back in the safe zone. It's going to be pretty much an automatic out, if one of them does not. Yeah.
That's when they cross.
It is when they cross, yeah. Yep.
And all they have to do is get their bat past the 3-foot line, and then they can take off.
They could, yep.
Back.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Give me something good picture.
So in that case, I was not the one who said run.
That was actually just an out on you.
Yeah, because I would not have won. I could have stayed there, and then we would have been done.
You actually would have been out because I caught the fly ball.
Oh, I was out for the
So it
weekend.
didn't matter, that's why he didn't run, because he was already out.
That's right. Yep. Yep. So, all right, let's get another batter in. Another batter. Sir?
It can't be 2 outs.
One out
You
there.
brought it, it's 1, but.
Now that is the end of the play.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Oh!
So I don't want to leave.
You don't want to leave?
I don't want to leave. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to ask before.
And the bad thing about that is you're not out. He is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see that.
Because it's to the wicket that the person's running to.
So I did this, he didn't run, she ran.
Uh-huh.
So,
But if I'd stayed here, then that would have been the end of that deal.
Yeah.
so there's one out, or was there 2 outs?
There was one out there.
So the fact that she ran was of no consequence, she shouldn't have.
She should, yeah.
But she's not.
Her decision should have been to stay, to wait. Usually in cricket, we have usually a go, stop, wait as sort of 3 signals. So if the ball's hit, usually the person hitting the ball will yell wait if they're not sure if they can cross.
Yeah.
Then go.
And that's communicated with these guys, communicate that.
Yep.
Now, just one more thing, because I've got bits and pieces. If he stands in the way of the wicket,
Uh-huh.
and I hit him with the ball,
Yeah.
and an official says, well, he intentionally stood there
Yep.
to get hit, then he's out. Is
Yep,
that
so,
right?
yeah, good question. Nice continuation then of the game. So, he's in front of the wicket, you hit him in the shoulder. No issue there, he might have a sore shoulder. But if you hit him below the knee, and the umpire deems that he's in front of the wicket and the ball otherwise would have hit it, he is out. And that's called LBW, leg before wicket.
That's good.
Alright. Okay, good. So you would have actually been out there.
So should I run up there and wait for him to throw that?
Yeah, that could have been a good option. Good option.
Kind of relaying the
Yep.
ball, you can.
Yep.
Get caught watching.
So we can hit either wicket with the ball?
You can.
Either one?
You can.
Okay.
Now that, she just stays up there, right?
Yep, she does.
It didn't hit the wicket, she didn't hit it, so she just
She
stayed.
can stay there.
Okay.
Throws it again.
This means a bad picture.
And
Bowler
and
has-
while you won't see this in here, but again, when you sort of use these little steps with the kids, for outside there's no wall, and so the wicketkeeper might miss the ball. You know, the last 2 have been wide. He misses it. Kids might ask, well, what happens then? Well, if she takes a little swing at it and misses, they can actually run.
So if I can see that it's going to go behind me, it's my
might
benefit to swing at it.
And actually, I haven't looked at that rule for a while, but maybe you guys can help me here. If she doesn't swing at it, she can still go. Or it's just the wide?
Yeah, it's her decision if she wants to go. If she doesn't swing at it, then you get one run because of the wide.
Because it's wide, yeah. But
And that's only if he misses it, right?
If the batter doesn't make an attempt to strike the ball, she just stands there and the ball goes wide without any attempt, then the umpire will call it a wide.
and it depends how wide it goes. Sometimes if it's just a little bit, they won't call that, but if it's a real wide, they will. There's a run added on to the score.
One of that daggone chair. Now, does she start there, or doesn't she start, because she knows she's gonna run, so she could actually start like this, right?
Yeah, she probably wouldn't
She
stand
could
there
start
and she is.
right on that line.
Yep, so that being part of her body, so she could actually be.
Be on the side, like if he's batting over there, I'd be over here, because he's gonna probably run that way, and we don't wanna run into each other, so you can kind of figure that, right?
Balls.
Oh.
That might be pretty close to the wide.
Yes.
I know, with the ball. Oh.
All right. If I was the umpire there, I may or may not have given him out. I would have watched, if I were watching this in international cricket, I would have watched to see what the ball was doing. If it was curving in, I might have called him out. If it was going straight, I probably wouldn't have called him out because I don't think the ball would have hit the wicket.
But if he went, like as the ball's coming, moved into the ball,
And
that
the
seems a
ball's-
little intentional.
If he's going to block it in front of the wicket, it's probably going to be an out. And again, the umpire will watch that, usually pretty dramatic about it too. Kind of watch it for a little while, and then this is the out signal. So they'll watch it, and then everyone jumps up in the air and carries on. And then by the way, if you're the bowler and you think you might have an LBW, you'll say really loudly, "How's that?" to the umpire. How is that? Meaning, is it an out or not? And if you're an Australian or if you're English, it's a, "How's that?"
Okay.
Yeah, so we want one of those before we finish up today.
Oh, okay. You say.
Alright, so we've got that little game going here. You know now that in regulation cricket, you can hit it and not have to run. You make a decision. If you miss it, don't have to run. So we're going to play a little game where if you hit it, you have to run. A little modification. Keeps the game moving along. Alright, so I'm going to bowl from this end. So, I just mentioned, again, we don't have much time today, but just to mention a few things, you can have a slower bowler who bowls about this speed. You can have a spinner who spins the ball with their fingers or spins it with their wrist. Once it hits the ground, if you take a tennis ball and you twist it, once it hits the ground, it snaps one way or another. You're not going to see much with a wiffle ball, but you can spin it. I'll try just the tennis ball here. And you can do a little wrist spin.
How was that?
And some of the fast bowlers will go back 25 meters or so, run in, and you get a fast one.
You can go faster than that.
Oh, good. Oh, gosh.
Oh, we're at the door.
There's that English-Australian relationship, right?
And then, you don't want to tell the kids this, but in international matches, you get some tactics going on. You know, baseball, you have the D balls. Cricket, you have body line balls. Get the fast bowler going in really fast, going at the batter.
Oh, yes, try to hit the batter.
And then sometimes that fast bowler will bounce the ball instead of about, on his feet and halfway down. And so by the time it gets to the batter, it's up near his head. So it will come in about there and bounce up. All right, so we've got our tippity run game going here. If you hit it, you have to run.
She says. Teamwork, teamwork. Oh no! Oh, she's safe.
Yeah, there isn't really any penalty for that.
Oh, wow.
We got to tell kids that.
Apart from some very poor relations between the two countries playing.
How long could that continue?
I'm sorry?
How long have you seen that continue in a competitive match, hitting the batter? Consecutive batters hit?
I don't know if there's any rule particularly. That doesn't usually happen with consecutive.
Sure, you don't want to make it obvious that you're...
Yeah, it's sort of like, oh, sorry.
Right.
I was going for an hour's nap that time.
Okay.
Cool technique.
Between the legs.
Little tips on your runs.
Oh, yeah, she's looking for the ball.
Get out of those chairs. Get out of those.
Right, so what we're going to do with our little game here with the kids is that we've thrown in the, if you hit, you've got to run. You can also then just have one pitch from either end. So I'm going to pitch the first one this time. Go that end this time. So you'll go ahead and ball.
Yeah. Did you pitch?
We could, or just whoever's got the ball.
Okay,
It just keeps the game rolling.
Oh, yeah!
But because they crossed each other, they scored, right?
They did,
It still looks like.
and if they were in the safe zone, that would count as a run.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, no. He's coming right out from the outside. He's coming in from the wall. Oh! It is not split. Or not coming. Good job.
Oh,
Nice defense.
oh, yes.
Don't play.
So again, in a regulation game, they would just keep going until one of them got out. That's why they have 5 days to play. In a 30-minute PE class, maybe 3 balls, and then you rotate the batter, something like that. However you want to set it up to make sure it's...
That's really the reason why a game literally seems like, when you go watch it, and then you come back 3 hours later, it looks exactly the same as it looked when I was there 3 hours.
Yeah. Apart from the state of the spectators who've been having too many in the stands. Don't want to tell the kids that either.
No, probably leave that out.
Yeah. So how it, in terms of modifications, like you would do in any other type of activity with the kids, making it developmentally appropriate for them, making sure that a fairly equal number of turns to hit, we could keep, field, ball. Like I say, if I were doing this outside, which I normally would, because the best way to do it, you have more space, then I might have, if I've got 30 kids in class, I might have 2 batters, wicket-keeper, bowler, 2 fielders perhaps at the most, and 4 or 5 of those little games going. And so within 30 minutes, we've got tons of rotations around the positions there. Lots of turns to hit, field, practice the skills, that sort of thing. But of course, I've just shown you very quickly some lead-ins to that I would start out by providing the simple little game of tossing the ball, protecting the wicket, and hitting the ball, which turns eventually with these questions to the game of cricket by the end. So, your unit could have the little games in them, that sort of thing.
What my kids have struggled with is putting the bat down around.
Yeah.
Yes, they keep.
Because we grew up with baseball.
Yes.
You put the bat down, so that's what they struggle with.
Oh yeah, I learned very quickly when I was teaching elementary PE to get an appropriate position away from the batters, because those bats would fly. Yeah. So that was one skill we had to work on.
Well, in the pitching piece, they would have to have a lot of time to practice that windmill action. I can see how. Because we're very much this.
Yeah. So what I would do with that, it depends on the process that you want to teach cricket. I've taken the process that we created a little game to start with and added on to it until eventually we had the game. But we might stop those little games for a little while once we introduce the overrun concept, the Usain Bolt position. And in the gym, I used to have, when I did it in the gym, we had just pieces of construction paper about the width of a wicket taped up there. We had them all the way down the gym. And so we had some bowling practice going on, let the kids try that. And then we went back to our game, added on to the concepts and so on there. And so it is a good game for kids. It's interesting, it's different, but you've got the transfer properties, some of which I've mentioned all the way through to other striking fielding games that the kids are used to. Giving them lots of success with a wider bat, so for that they can be usually quite successful. You have some similar concepts, such as protecting an area, like you might have in the strike zone in baseball, softball. You have the concept of scoring a run, and you have the concept of placing the ball in the field where others are not, in order to try and score a run. And again, we have transfer properties there to other activities that you do.
What did we do at the very beginning? Because I remember the first batter that came up, we held it like an American bat.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until you started talking about it needing to be down here that we started doing a whole lot more than protecting. What was the very first thing that we did? It was a pitch.
Yeah.
It was a pitch over, underhand pitch. We were just trying to just make contact.
Yeah, I just let you hold the bat however you want. They just pitched it underhand. We had one concept of protecting the wicket and attempting to hit the wicket. Simple concept to start with, simple little game. And so then as the kids ask questions, then we introduce the other skills as they go along. Like you all did, you were perfect, you know what I mean? You asked the right questions, what happens next? Well, if we do that, what happens? Well, here's what we do there, so we practice that.
The problem would be, this would be just one game, and I couldn't be giving that same information to the field, the fourth field over there,
set up the game, you explain everything. But what I did was that I would have these little games. I would have the kids together. Here's a little game we're going to play. We would demonstrate the underhand toss, the hip, the retrieval. I think everyone can do that.
Yeah.
Let's go over to yours and try that.
Okay.
All right. Someone asked a question. Maybe it's about the bowling. So we'll bring everyone back in.
And then we address that
Yeah.
question.
Here's the question, and here's how you do it. Let's do a little practice. Go back. We'll have that piece in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they kind of guide.
They do.
what we teach.
They do. Yep. So it depends how you want to go about teaching it. A few different ways of doing that, different models of doing that.
Does it help for the kids to be able to perhaps see what a game would look like on YouTube, or pull up something where the kids could see what the end product
That's what
looks
I
like?
did, is I pulled up a little clip, just so they could get the idea of, wow, it's different, it's 360 degrees, it's oval, it's an area. Yeah, I did that.
Certainly you can.
It helps
do
answer
that.
some things.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done it that way too, but of course you can just start out with younger kids just playing that simple little game.
Yeah.
And then as they develop a few skills with it and add on to it, hey, let me show you something.
Yeah.
This is how they play this game with some other skills. Take a look at this. Well, what are they doing there? Well, let's add that in next.
Yeah.
You can do it that way too. Yeah. So, little combinations there. So I have a handout for you. It's got the basic rules on it. It's got several lead-up games that we didn't necessarily get to today, but another one that I think you would enjoy and the kids would like is, if you want to just stand behind there for a minute. Maybe a little ball back. I like this one more so for fitness and just a little bit of batting practice and that sort of thing. The ball can be underhand or overhand. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the ball. As soon as I hit it, I'm just going to run to this disc and back. You're allowed to hit the ball and you're going to come back to the marker there. Whether I'm back here or not, you can attempt to hit my wicket.
Okay.
Yeah?
Use the traditional pitch.
Whatever you want to do.
We'll try to keep practicing that.
So you've got to get it.
Oh, he's got to get it. Okay.
So this might be a partner activity. Can't do that. Got to go back there.
Oh.
Can't do that. Got to get this one. This is just a little lead-up game that would have occurred earlier.
Okay.
We could have a field here if we wanted to. Can't do that. Got to go to this one.
You
Gotta get this one.
This wicket. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Right, so on this one, I've changed around a little bit. I've thrown you off because this is kind of a little lead-in.
Right.
So what you've got to do in this game is actually go back to, let's say, that little brass thing.
Oh, that's right.
And you've got to pitch it again.
Got it.
You can't actually throw it.
I get it. Keep pitching it.
Yeah.
Pitch it. Where you go. Ah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't off the line for a ball out.
Whether I'm back or not, you can go.
Yeah, I was about to say, our heart rate is high as sky high. So everybody.
Oh, gosh.
And so it goes.
Good workout.
Is that called continuous continuous cricket? Is that the game?
That one is continuous cricket.
Yeah.
Nice job. So, more so for fitness, a little bit of batting. If I really wanted to have better transfer on that one, I put the disc up here so I run vertically. And of course, when I'm playing cricket, I'm not trying to get back and stop the ball. So that transfer isn't there, but it's a really nice little activity. We can play 3 cricket, where I might hit the ball. If I get it past the bowler, I get 1 run. I don't have to run. If I hit it into a different zone that's further down, 2 runs. Another zone 3 runs. If you play regular cricket, there's usually a boundary line around the oval. If you hit it along the ground or it bounces over that line, it's an automatic 4 runs. You actually don't have to run them. And if you hit it over the line or over the fence without it bouncing, it's an automatic 6 runs. Again, I don't have to
What is a typical
run.
game sport?
In the international matches, often in innings that might be averaging 250 to 300 runs each.
Opposite
Yeah.
of soccer.
Individual batters, sort of most of them, their goal, they have great innings. They might be in there for hours. And if you can score 100 runs, it's usually the deal. They keep track of those statistics. Yeah.
How early do kids in England and Australia start learning this game? I mean, I know what it's like for children here to learn to start playing football or baseball or basketball. This is a game that kids start?
They do. They play it over there like you would learn football and baseball here. You know, looking at how we do it and how we do some of the sports here very early, not modifying it too much. I would say that, you know, we should, you know, with the younger kids, if we are beginning them that soon, that we take into account the appropriateness of how we're doing it with the kids. For all the reasons you know about.
Right. I'm sure they pick up ways, realizing that, you know, the natural instinct is to hit the ball, you know, back in that area but to try and position your bat and your body to do it in a funky. I think that is a lot of that gets into a little more high higher order of learning skills.
It is a different movement, a different motor skill for them.
I'm sure it's all this manipulation. I mean, I saw, you know, these guys do you know, just how they move the bat differently and just hit the edge, and I'm sure that wasn't just by chance.
And oftentimes when they hit it behind them,
Yeah,
the ball will bounce a little bit shorter than it might otherwise. So the ball bounces here, therefore it's starting to rise a little bit higher. To hit it this way, it's difficult.
Yeah.
What they will do is they will turn and hook the ball.
That's what I'm saying, knock it.
Yeah. Or, in turn, cut the ball this direction. So it heads out that way.
That's a whole other thing.
We played mini games. There are 11 players on a team. We might have a wicket keeper right here. We might have someone in a position called first slip right here. Another person about here, second slip. Another person here, third slip. So that if I'm batting and I'm left-handed and I go to cut the ball, it goes off the edge of my bat here. Might go to any one of these people here. Someone's out here, someone's down there, someone's down there, someone's out here, all with very specific position names that sound
That slip might move over here for right-handed.
right-hand batter, they would move, and it's a nightmare for teams when you have a lefty and a righty.
Yeah.
Because they're moving all the time.
Yeah, switching and
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So,
Strategy there.
yeah. So, you know, in 45 minutes, that's cricket, and those are some of the little progressions that you could use in developing that. Do you guys have anything you want to add on to?
I think you've done a really good job of explaining the rules through the game itself and how the game evolved through questions, and I think that's a really good approach to take because, as Greg was saying, you do it different ways, but I think from not knowing the game, I think that's just a really good visual way that students can be involved in asking questions, which is what we encourage students to do, but through playing the game. And that evolution of the game would be based on the questions they ask, bringing players in when you see something. I know somebody asked a question about, well, if I'm looking over here, working with this group over here, how do I address that? Well, if one group has a question, another group will have a question as well. That's where you can bring them in, and I thought you explained that really, really well. Really well.
Cricket balls are usually red in day games. They're leather. They're about the hardness of baseball. This is actually a rubber one, but it kind of looks like that. They have night games now too, and so they use the white cricket balls. I grew up when they really didn't, showing my age here, didn't have the night games. So I remember all cricket matches with the red.
Is that hard Real
Yeah, like a baseball.
Like
This
a
one's just
baseball.
rubber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you had pitched that and it hit me in the hip here, that thing would have hurt.
You're gonna be bruised up. They have the batters have pads on their legs up through about here. They have padded gloves on their hands. These days they wear helmets with face shields. Do they wear pads now or not?
I think some of them sometimes wear pads on their side if they're
Yeah.
actually riding the batter
Yeah.
here, and they wear a shield down the forearm to get hit on the arm. But not too much padding because otherwise it restricts your running.
Yeah, back in the day, they didn't have the helmets, they didn't have those side pads, they had the leg pads and the gloves, and that was about it.
So in an international game, your fast pitch, I mean, what kind of speeds are you looking at? Are they similar to Major League Baseball?
They are. Yeah, the balls will fly down. They'll skid after they hit the ground too. Yeah, so over 100 miles an hour, right?
For the fastest bowler, I think, for a really fast bowler.
Yeah. Of course, the spin bowlers, we were bowling at just the slower speeds there.
Yeah, but they're professional athletes now.
Yeah.
How often do they change bowlers in the game? I mean, do they switch them out like we do in Major League Baseball?
Every 6 balls, they switch. So if you pitch 6 down that end, you'd have a new person down here, but you could, same two, can alternate all day.
It's not hard to do.
Yeah, and you're talking about between games, like would a pitcher wouldn't necessarily pitch consecutive games. Okay. And the bowling, sometimes they will play in the same games.
Okay.
Yeah, they won't take a rest like a pitcher does.
Yeah, so baseball, you've got that starting pitcher, might go 7 innings. In cricket, you might bowl 6, she might bowl 6, and then the captain of the team says, you two stink today. I'm going to get him to bowl next.
Okay.
So you can actually have all players bowl if they were okay, if they had the skill to do that.
Okay.
Usually not. They have usually about 5 or 6.
Now, once they pull you out of the bowler, can you come back in later?
You can.
Okay.
But you can only you can only do 6 at one time, and then you have to switch.
Correct, yeah. Yep. And it's called an over. So after 6 balls, that's an over.
It's not like pitches that were hittable, it was just.
Correct. Just six balls, and whether or not they were hit or not doesn't matter. Yep, the next person does 6 from the other end. With the kids, of course, I might do 2, or I might do 2 from that end. Just depends on, how I've progressed the game. Yeah. Like everything else, we want the kids to have plenty of turns, no one waiting on playing a role in the game, that everyone's getting plenty of possessions and so forth there.
I think with those modifications that Gary's talking about, where hit and run, those type of things, it turns around quickly. So everyone's going to bat, everyone's going to bowl. It's good fun. And this game here gets them going and it's a good workout. It's good. Yeah. It's exciting.
Other questions?
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.